Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I will be reviewing the Rolex Platinum Daytona with a Baguette Diamond Bezel and Dial, reference 116576 TBR or 126576 TBR or 126500LN. It's supposed to look like a platinum, but it's actually made on steel. And so I'm going to go through this watch and tell you about how we turned a steel watch into this platinum baguette ice blue dial that you see, why we did it, how much it's going to cost you, and where you can get it. So let's start with why we did it. Well, the original version of this same watch from Rolex, those two reference numbers I told you earlier, 116576 TBR or 126576 TBR, are going to cost you almost 300,000 USD, somewhere between 250 and 300,000. Now, the factory version of this is off catalog. That means you cannot go to their website and buy it, or you cannot go to the authorized dealer and say, hey, I want this version. No, it's only offered to very special customers that have a very long-standing relationship with the company and have bought tons and tons of stuff. Then they might offer you that. And even then, they might not offer it to you. So how do you get it? Well, they get it off catalog. Those people who have actually bought it have ended up selling them to the gray market, and that's how it ends up on the gray market. Now, that's for the original version. Now, not everybody has $300,000 to spend, or $250,000 to spend on a watch like this. So what they do is modify it so that it looks just like it. And how do they do that? Well, they take the base model stainless steel Daytona, which is every bit going to look like the platinum version, except it's going to be lighter. So we take it as it comes from the factory. The reference number is 126500LN. It's in stainless steel. It has a black ceramic bezel and a black face on it. So let me show you what that looks like. So you see the face originally and the bezel. We simply have the watchmaker remove the dial and remove the bezel. As you see here, there's just two parts, and we replace it with a ice blue dial that has Baguette hour markers on it, as well as the real diamonds, by the way. And then we replace the bezel. Instead of this black ceramic bezel, we replace it with the Baguette bezel. And the Baguette, and so that's how we do it. And it ends up looking exactly or very, very similar to the $250,000 version of it, except it's only going to cost you a fraction of that, less than $40,000 for the whole thing out the door on your wrist. All right, that's even cheaper, by the way, than the white gold version. And I might also add, by the way, if you wanted to, this one's built on steel. If you wanted to build this one on white gold so that it would be heavy, we could do that as well. We could even, by the way, if you have this watch in platinum or you want us to build it off of platinum, we can build it using the platinum base model and just put the bezel on it. And that would add, it would look like it's a $250,000 watch. Nobody could tell the difference, probably even not you or even the authorized dealer if you just change the bezel. And it'll look every bit like the $250,000 version of it. Okay, anyway, so that is why we did it, so that it's a lot cheaper. Instead of paying $250, $300, you pay less than $40,000. That's why we did it. And how we did it is just like I showed you, where you simply remove those parts. They're not difficult parts to remove. We could also remove it on the white gold or the platinum version of it as well. Okay, and I told you how much it's going to cost you. Less than $40,000. You can buy it at jazztime.com. Okay, now let's go through a little bit, some parts of the specifics of this, okay? The head of the watch is 40 millimeter. That's unchanged. Now, I told you there's two reference numbers. The first reference was a 116. That's what it started with. And the second reference was a 126. Now, you might be wondering, what is the difference? Well, the 116 version, that reference number came about from 2015 until 2023. It had an 8-year run. And that means you use a base model of a 116 version of the watch. And that had that was the first modern Daytona. In 2023, that was replaced by model number 126, starts with the 126. And what we have done here is we've used a base model of 126 so that it's the latest generation, and then change the bezel and dial, of course, so it looks like the most recent generation. So this one is actually going to look like the 126576 TBR. Now, there's not that much difference between the two versions, the old and the new, especially once you remove the dial and bezel, but there are some differences, and that comes down to the movement, which I'll get to in a little bit. All right, now the case itself is steel. As I said, you could do this watch in white gold to get the same heft, although white gold would be a little bit less brilliant. It would look a little bit grayer because white gold looks grayer. Or we could do it in platinum, like, as I said. Of course, platinum is going to cost you, because a platinum watch itself is going to be nearly $100,000. So, and adding a bezel is going to be, if you just wanted to add the bezel, it's around $10,000, something in that range. So that's another way you could do it. All right, and okay, so that's the case of this one. And let's look onto the bezel. Now, here's the cool part of the bezel. As I told you, this bezel is custom. So how do we do it? Well, we set it in white gold. And you might be wondering, well, this watch is steel, why you set it in white gold? Well, white gold is easier. Gold is easier to work with than any other material, including steel or platinum. You can't really, it's harder to make the bezel in that. So you make it, and also it's easier to set that way. It's better to set that way, and actually looks better too from our experience. And you see the setting on this bezel. It's done really to perfection. Now these are lab-grown diamonds, I want to say. So probably Rolex uses natural stones, I would think. But these are lab-grown stones. Now you might think, well, why would you want lab-grown? Well, first of all, it makes it more continuous. The regularity and proportions of of the stones, they all look the same color to give it that brilliant white look to it, very sparkly look to it. And you get that with lab-grown stones. And these are princess cut, so they are like little squares, not round ones, which also make it look much more luxurious and is actually like how the factory does it. And get this, it's 8.3 carats. So you might wonder, well, that bezel is expensive. It's $10,000. Well, you know what? I have news for you. If you were to get the difference between the non-diamond bezel and the diamond bezel from the factory is like $100,000 difference. So we're selling to you for $10,000. Is a massive difference. $90,000 difference. All right, and we're still using real diamonds, lab grown though, of course, and we're still doing the setting in white gold. And you know what? Putting them side by side, you really can't tell the difference. I mean, the bezel is just done to perfection. It has an invisible setting so that you have no space between the diamonds. Now, I also want to say this, though. It does take some time for us to create this one if you want to buy it. So when you click on the link in the description below, I don't just have these sitting here, on my desk waiting for you to buy them. We need to put them together. And why is that? Well, because these are a made-to-order piece. It doesn't really make sense for us to stock this thing just to wait for a buyer for it when we can just easily put it together once a buyer does want to buy it. So that's what we do. So if you want to buy it, it's going to take us a few weeks to make this bezel, and we absolutely can do it because this is the result. This is an example of what we have done. So yeah, if you'd like to buy it, just be aware that you're going to have to wait a little bit of time for us to put it all together. It's take some time. Okay, that's the bezel, right? Really fantastic done, and it's beautiful. Makes the watch look like a ultra baller watch. Let's move on to the dial here. Again, the dial is done very nicely. It's an ice blue dial, and with the baguette hour markers. The baguettes don't. I think the baguettes are done really nicely. Normally, I don't like diamonds too much for men, but when you do it with these baguettes, it doesn't look girly at all, not feminine. And you do hour marker baguettes like this, again, it looks really fantastic. So I am going to say, look, if you like the look of this, please Click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com. Okay, now let's look at the bracelet. The bracelet is unchanged from the previous generation. So it's just a nice bracelet. I don't know, it's oyster. As I said, if you wanted to do it in a different material to have the same heft, we definitely could do that. Of course, it's going to cost you more. White gold probably going to cost you like around $60K or so to do it, and platinum going to cost you probably like $115K or so, something like that. All right. Anyways, let's move on to the movement here. The movement is a 4131, 4131. The old movement, if you use the old reference, would be a 4130. The new movement, 4131, is the nicer movement, and it has a rotor that is in, I believe it's in steel. At least it's not gold colored. The original has a gold colored rotor and has a open case back. This one has a closed case back. You know what? We can actually make an open case back if you want. It's going to take some time, like 3-4 weeks, but we could do it. But it would not show a gold rotor to show a steel rotor. But at any rate, I'm not sure how often people are going to look at the back of your watch, and I'm not sure you need that. But anyways, the point is, this is the newer movement, and it looks really fantastic. Okay, time to try this watch on my wrist. Now, I am 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. All right, now you can see it on my wrist, and I want to give you my thoughts about it. All right, now, of course, look, if you can afford a $250,000, $300,000 watch, and you can buy it, please. We also have that available at jazztime.com. Go to our website, buy it, send us your money, and we'll send you the watch. Now, look, if you are not able to pay that kind of money, or you don't want to pay that money, you want to pay less than $40,000, here's what I suggest you do. Buy this watch. We can take the stainless steel watch, change the bezel and dial. It's going to look exactly like you see it here. Once it's on your wrist, nobody can tell the difference. Really, nobody can tell, unless they take the watch off your wrist and move it around. If you don't like the feel of steel, you want it even more luxurious, pay us $60,000. We'll put it on white gold for you. It'll look amazing. You probably could do it even for less if you want a used watch as a base. The final step is, if you take a platinum watch, it's going to cost you like, I don't know, $100,000 or so. We can do the whole thing for you. Just change the bezel. That's it. And it will be exactly the same thing. And for that, it'll only be another 10 grand plus the watch. So 110, 115, something like that. Okay. What are my thoughts? I just think this is a great value to make your Daytona look every bit like the super expensive Daytona and still not be that expensive. So I'm definitely a fan of it, and the craftsmanship done on the bezel is fantastic. So I would say, yeah, of course, if the bezel's not done nice, if they're using like not real diamonds or just cheaply done stuff, then it's not going to look good. But we are doing the best work possible, the best lab-grown stones in the best setting, done really to perfection, and the result is what you see here. So please, if you like to buy this watch, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in Jazztime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.